All right, all right, all right. All right, Sister Deborah is here. Topic, message of today is grace and mercy. And I'm also going to cover something else, but I want to talk about grace and mercy. I want people to understand a little about the grace and mercy of the Most High Yah. I want people to really kind of understand grace and mercy a little bit regarding the grace and mercy that the Most High has poured out and why pour out grace and mercy and so much of it. And I would answer that question. I'm not answering, I would have that question. But why so much of it, Father, y'all? Yes, the Most High has poured out extremely a lot of grace and mercy. Even to this midnight hour is there grace and mercy. And a lot of people take it for granted that the grace and mercy is just here because they are entitled. People really believe that when they think of grace and mercy and they think of anything, they feel so entitled. They think, hey, I'm entitled to this. You know what I'm saying? But not understanding why one must grip why he poured out so much grace and mercy, even to the point of today. It still is poured out, even to this very day. Yes, grace and mercy. And the Father had a will. First, he had his way. He wrote things in and wrote things out the way he want things to go according to his will. A lot of times we see things going on in the world on the four corners and assume that the world is in full control and they're dictating things from their end. People don't really get the fact that it's called grace and mercy. And them that is on the four corners doing all the darkness of wicked and evil for on behalf of Satan, they too are under grace and mercy. You know who else is under grace and mercy? Satan. Satan is under that same grace and mercy. Mm-hmm. You know who else? The demons that's with him. They're under grace and mercy. Mm-hmm. And this is why I have an issue with people not really seeing the Creator for who he really is. Because once he poured out that grace and mercy, and the way he poured it out, it was for everybody and everything. Because it had not been for that grace and mercy, we would not be here today. Grace and mercy is holding up his will. That's how his will is going to be mastered, is because grace and mercy is going to see to it that it holds it up. Because he poured it out on the four corners. And as I said, I'm going to say it again. If you really sit down and think, Satan and his demons also have grace and mercy. Because everything is written from the level of the throne. You have heard time after time of where Satan is going to spend his eternal. Why isn't he there now? Grace and mercy. Why isn't it the demons in the place in which is going to be their eternal? Why are they not there? Why is it fallen angels, not fallen, but yeah, you can call them fault now. Angels who got lost their first estate, why do you think they down in the uttermost darkness chain? Huh? They're under grace and mercy. You will never get no one preach nor teach you grace and mercy at the level in which you need to know it. We want to look at grace and mercy as it's something we're entitled to. No, it isn't. His will is being held up so that it can be fulfilled. He poured us out grace and mercy. You see? Because if not, you wouldn't have those angels that's in the uttermost darkness chained up. You wouldn't even have that creature and creatures in the ocean. Even those that I think it's called Antarctic or whatever. I think it's several of them frozen in time for appointed time. I believe that everything that's actually taking place is able to take place because of grace and mercy. I sit back and I overheard something about the Clintons being one of the power punches in the world. And I sit back and think about how the wicked know how to live a long time. They live years. That wicked and evil can live years. All you have to think about is think about Satan and his demons. Just think about them. Why are they still existing? Why ain't they in a eternal state of lake and fire? Grace and mercy. See, no one would preach that and teach that. Why? Because people think grace and mercy is something they are fully entitled to. They feel that they are due grace and mercy, but they don't understand grace and mercy has been poured out so that the will can be completed from the beginning to the end. If the will didn't have anything to do with it, grace and mercy would not be there. But the will must be fulfilled. So we get and receive grace and mercy until. And that's why it is said, come the time of the judgment of the kingdom judgment, there will be no more what? Grace and mercy. You see? No. Many people, and you all might not believe this, there are people who don't believe in anything. They believe that there is a creator, but they don't believe anything beyond that. They believe that they're going to gain also grace and mercy during that time of judgment. The reason why people don't feel or desire to feel anything that's taking place or that has taken place is because they think that they are entitled to the eternal kingdom as they feel they entitled to grace and mercy, not understanding you got more grace and mercy than you got anything. I'm going to say that to you all again. We have more grace and mercy than we have anything, because that which he has poured out is truly some sort of grace and mercy. And this is why we today can speak and be here, is because of that same grace and mercy. So no, don't ever feel you entitled and that you should have grace and mercy because everybody else have it and they should have it. We all should have it. No. It's to uphold the will, because the will has to be from the beginning to the end. That's the will. And until the end close up, grace and mercy is going to remain here. So a lot of people, even today, why are you allowing the wicked and evil to live? All the time that they had to do right, they do wrong. And wicked and evil is at its highest, and yet they still here. It's that grace and mercy. The same grace and mercy you've given each and every last one of us. Because honestly, me as a servant, I don't need to, I don't desire, I'm not entitled, let's say that, to be here. I'm only entitled to the day in and the day out that his will has me set in. But am I entitled? No. It's his grace and mercy that allowed me to be here based on how he have everything wrote in and wrote out. Grace and mercy still has me here. I'm still here on grace and mercy. So a lot of people wouldn't understand that. Going back to what I say, too many people are in this mindset of entitled. You know, they think they're entitled to the Holy Spirit. They think they're entitled to the power. They think they're entitled to the comforter. They think they're entitled to the teacher. They think they're entitled to everything that the Father has to offer. They feel entitled to it. They say, we don't care about nothing or anything. We know we got our ticket. We got it in our hand. We know that we're going to make it there. You see what I'm saying? Sister Deborah, would even tell you, even I can't put that word, I know I'm in the kingdom. I would say that I would want to, but I would want to be strictly according to his will and how he has me written. That's where I need to be. That's where I should look forward to, is where he has me written. And wherever he has me written, I'm just going to be grateful he took out the time to let me live on this earth like Satan. The reason why him and his demons still obey Yah is because they're looking at the idea that when he could have took us, he could have sent us to the lake of fire a long time ago, people. He could have been put us in the lake of fire. So why would they get on the earth and think that they have the power to run him like humans do on the earth? They think because they own this earth, they rule him. They really do. They think that they are entitled to him to the point where they feel they're entitled to his power, his word, his spirit. You know, they just think that they just entitled. And that's a very wicked mindset. Because most people, 99.9 of most people feel they are entitled. All nations to any place that gives eternal life. They feel that they are entitled. You ask them why? They have their own flesh, just reason of why they feel that they are entitled. They got their own reason, but it ain't worth the rest behind. Because if it's not written, and then you're down here just standing around thinking that, okay, I done everything in the world, under the table, on top of the table. So what? I'm entitled. Has no work, no labor. And the work and the labor, people, does not entitle one to the kingdom. The work and labor is work and labor of those who he sent down himself to do the work, to labor, to long suffer, to endure. You see? Those are the handpicks of the Most High Yah that he assigned to represent him on this earth. That's where you see the labor and you see the work. But the labor and the work comes after what is written, not before. To really show you that he didn't even consider what position he sent you down here and what your title or what you should be laboring or working. He just assigned you in the kingdom. But who comes down, stand up against the wall? Then he didn't suffer them to live so many years. And they don't have a voice nor a word that rests in them to speak to someone else. No labor, no work that identify on the earth that they are workers of spirit and truth, workers of the light. It was said, for ye are the light that's set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. Why? The light is never given to us to be hidden, people. It reminds me of that one that did receive this. Let's go there. Let's go all the way. The one talent. He hid it. He just know if I just hide this, he was hiding it for who? Self. Himself. He hid the talent for himself to make sure that he get back in. You see? That wasn't a servant of the Most High Yah, even though he had received a talent. He wasn't a true servant. So that's why I say the mindset of human beings today is so into this entitlement. And who did that? The environment they have been around, the mindset. They have become like the world, feeling entitled. Want me to show you how sick the world is? Those who rule it is so sick. They feel they entitled to delete human beings off the face of the earth because they want to lower the population. You see how entitled they feel? They entitled to be pedophiles. Nobody should, don't touch with us. Don't touch us. Don't bother us. We entitled to all this wicked and evil. Well, that's the same way people conduct themselves when they feel they're entitled. They feel they're entitled to the kingdom. They're entitled to sit at the throne. All because they're standing up on the wall. And they think that that makes them important. With that spirit of entitlement, all you have to do is think about how the grace and mercy was poured out. So how was grace and mercy hitting you and hitting Satan at the same time? See? You see how the thought and the mindset of the Creator, he rumbled his way. And that's why our thoughts cannot come near his, and our ways cannot come near his ways, because we got our own thoughts and we try to bring it on the earth as we see it in our thoughts, in our understanding. And there's nothing in us that want it no other way. I, Sister Deborah, would say I'm a grateful prophetess that the Father has all things written and in his order of his will. That means no matter what happens on this earth, the will override it, and shall override it. I think about a lot of people, they're talking about the 3 days of darkness, and they really don't understand the 3 days of darkness is not a something you could talk about that you don't know what you're talking about. The 3 days of darkness, don't get it bent. Okay. As I was speaking yesterday about the biochemical that they subject to come out with to make a speedy power control, I would think that they would do that. Another one is causing something to be released to bring or to knock out our power here in this country. But when they knock that power out, they're not going to tamper. They can't remove whatever they use. They can't remove the morning, the day. Okay. They can't knock that out. And we need to not give them that glory like that, because they can't take away the day. Only the Father can do that. And the only reason why he's going to do it, because he's coming down. He coming down. And when I mean come down, I'm talking about that all power, that fierce, and that wrath to even the sun, the moon, and the stars gonna know what time it is. They gonna know we better get out of here. Why? Because during that time, you all have no idea that is his wrath. Okay? That is his fierce. So if the moon and the stars and the sun knows to get out the way, he's coming. What makes you think we as human, we wouldn't even bust a move? We wouldn't even bust a move. But they gonna feel it. So he's coming, and in that situation, this is where you won't be able to see the day. You ain't gonna see the morning nor the day, because he's gonna do away with it. He's not gonna do away with it. They're gonna do away with it themselves. Why? Because that's how they have to bow down to him, the Father. They know that they light cannot share his. Woo! No, you didn't go there. Yes, I did. And the sun, the moon, and even the stars know that they light cannot share in with his. Oh, they know it. Just because we too ignorant to really understand it in the spirit and truth of the light and in the light, that's on us. But the whole matter is, that's the day of his wrath. And they already know not to play with it. They know they can't share his light. So they have to bow down. And they're going to. Now, there's another time period where the sun is going to partially, the moon is going to partially, and the stars are going to be partially. All I can think of when that's something like that, I can think of something happening, but it's not to end anything. But that is not the 3 days of darkness. 3 days of darkness is what man is cranking up. Okay? And they cranking it up to give the glory to what is subject to happen. And that is what reject, and people reject. I look at my children. I'm looking at people. I'm looking at everybody, and how I, Sister Deborah, see everybody going already to the left. It's almost like everybody trying to find their way to their eternal. That's what I'm seeing. They don't want no light. They don't want no spirit and truth. They just want to be left alone so they can go into the direction in which they are assigned. I don't mess with that. That's not a bad thing. That's what I'm seeing. People going straight into the direction in which the eternal has been assigned to it. Okay? Now, what they could do, now hear me out. And because and you know what, y'all, it just does something to my head. Every time I think of how being a servant of the Most High, and you have to give something that you know that it's in the midst, but you know it's vain and vats in the hearts of the people. It's like Noah. I'm sure he stopped years dealing with the people. I know he did. Because you, after a while, you get drained, spiritual and natural. Because so much is in front of you showing you that it's not going to change. No matter what warning, not so much as warning, because he don't want me to use anything as a warning, because those days are over with him trying to warn people. He's been doing that since Genesis. Okay, so that's nothing new. But what I'm saying is, I sat and I spoke something the other day about how they have to destroy from the inside. And I will tell you all what you don't know. But what happened was, when it kind of spoke to me, I kind of was kind of hurt by it, you know, because I think about how Yah put a lot into allowing people to know. That's the thing about it. It's no way he is not letting people know. People know it. It's clearly seen right before. Is that a beautiful thing? Yes, because it's showing you how just he is, how upright he is, that he willing to allow you to see what he told Satan them as well, to keep the light on. So it's clearly seen. So it ain't something that people can't see right before them. Now, when it says they say they see, they cannot see. They say they hear, they cannot hear. That's spiritual. That's spiritual, y'all. That's spiritual. But in the natural, things are so plainly seen. Plainly seen. They're tearing this country up from the inside. And people in this country has nothing in them. They have went along with everything that this country has told them to do and how to do it. They have poisoned them from one end of the country to the next end, to all four corners of this country. They have put stuff in everything that you use, even your detergent, your water, your food, the air that you breathe, your vegetables. They didn't tamper with it all. It's clearly seen. It was a time when things weren't seen. But now, in that day we're in, everything is like, I'm not like, Father, wait a minute, Father. They can't see that. So what he say to me, you see that book they read? They are without excuse. Everything is right there laid out for them, Deborah. Now, what they doing is they destroying it from the inside. And I want to send something out there to you all that are in the light. And it's, I know it's for you, because you can't speak to the dark. The dark can't comprehend light at all. Okay. And it never was designed to. So I want y'all to understand that dark was never designed to comprehend light, and light was never designed to comprehend dark. That's why they have the 12 and 12 even on a day. 12 hours here and 12 hours here. You see? It was never created to share. Okay? So what they're doing is clearly seen. And do you know how they say, it's a saying, what you don't know won't hurt you? I believe that that's not going to be used in the day we're in. You're going to know it and walk straight into it with your eyes wide open. Whether you try to see or not see, everything is clearly seen. Only way this country can come down is the way they came up. See, that went over many of your heads. The only way this country can come down is the same way it came up. And I'm going to leave that with you. Because if you don't know how it came up to be, then you don't know how it's going down. Okay? Now, my thing was when the Spirit spoke to me, and this is why I'm bringing this up, and I began to think about how the synagogue of Satan is in this land. It's here. This is his seat. This is where his seat is. This is where his seat was and is. This is where his synagogue is. That's why you got a large Catholic Christian church also here. They too worship Christian as well. They are partaker in it because the Christian is the shield that hides the Catholics. When Catholic and Christian is the same, y'all. Now you might think that, but the biblical, no biblical, nothing. Just because they taking words from a book and applying it today so that you can think that the people are really about what they were yesterday because they are called this today. The synagogue is Satan. No one ever thought, and do they read it, Father? All the time. Do they read it, Father? All the time. Revelation 13. It tells you how Satan is going to turn his power over. Why is Satan turning his power over? You see? Why is he giving his seat up? Because this country is his seat. This is where he portrayed the world from this level. He's given his seat up and he's given his power. Revelation 13. Let me just open it up. Why would he give his power? Why would he? Wait a minute. Let me check somebody right quick. Why would he give his power? Was his power his, or was it given to him? He never had no power. The power in which he held was the power that was given to him from the same one that has that power to create all things. You see, we don't give the creator enough praise and glory. We don't give the Most High Yah what is due him. And I think it's a dark sadness, because even the darkness know he entitled, because he could have put them in the lake of fire way back. They got their tails here on the earth, acting a fool. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years, when they could have been in the lake of fire already. Y'all see where that grace and mercy? You see how the Father has his purpose for everything he creates. He got it set up, you guys, in the wheel to go his way when we think we rule it. Revelation chapter 13. It talks about, in verse 2, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 2. Let me pull this over to this side. And it says, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet was as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him, the beast, his power. You see that? And his seat. Do y'all see that? And great authority. Do y'all get that? So this is what was pulling on me today. I said, Father, we done went over there that so many times. We never gave that a thought. Why is the dragon turning over his power, his seat, and his what? Authority. There go 3. Why is the dragon turning that over? See, now one of y'all ever gave that a thought. What did Sister Deborah tell y'all? His seat was where? And where was he using his power, from what place? The United States of America was where his seat was, where he conduct his power. And that's why when you see this country being the power puncher, it ain't because they can fight good and they got a lot of weapons and they got a lot of power. No, it never was. They had Satan in the midst. This is why a lot of when you wonder why all these other countries never did anything to America or try to fight back. Satan's seat was here, y'all. See how much people in this country want to say, great old America. You stupid fools. You stupid, stupid fools. It was a reason why the synagogue of Satan was here. His seat. He conduct his authority and his power from this country. You see? So now he's doing what? He's giving it up in Revelation. Why? He no longer have any purpose for this country. This is what you all need to bounce into, Revelation 18. Why this country is coming down. And the Father don't want this country to come down like we in the flesh think it come down. No. He's taken this country, you guys. Hear me and hear me well. He's taken this country off the earth all the way to the bottom, and it might even go beyond the ocean. So when he come and and whatever that's coming from above, it's going to go straight and dilute or take down this whole country, y'all. And this country will never be seen again. So what my thing as a teenager, I said, is that going to be like a atomic bomb or a nuke? They're going to get nuked? No. Because when you get nuked an atomic bomb, you still have the debris that you can still say that's where they used to be. The United Snakes of America used to be over there. They're not going to see that. All they're going to see after it, it's going to be off. It's not going to exist. That's showing you how heaven really going to destroy. And in my spirit, I'm like, okay, what did this country do? I was a young person. You see? And for us to stand around thinking we are all let in this land, acting a monkey like they do, like Satan does. And we don't even understand that we acting and conducting ourselves the same way he trained his people in this country to do. Conduct themselves. That's why you couldn't get rid of hate, y'all, that's in this country. You couldn't get rid of nothing this country did because Satan was in the midst of it. Now the seat is being turned over to another. Okay? Now the seat has to be moved from this country. So you see how this country has to go down? And I, Sister Deborah, really salute the fact how the Father has orchestrated it to come to an end. I really do. All the grace and mercy. And this country, along with its people, never did right at all. By each other and by anyone else in other country. And you all thought that the other country was scared of a United Snakes because they all listen. They so powerful. Used to fool. So that's why I believe that the beast who's going to take over this power, he's going elsewhere. And I think he's heading over there to Jerusalem and Israel, over in that direction, Gaza. That's where he's heading to conduct the one world system from that end. That's where I believe, from somewhere up in there. And let me explain to you. I believe somewhere over in there and detaching it to the Middle East. Somewhere in those two is where it's going to all be taking place. Okay? So if you ever wonder where Satan's seat is at, he gave it up. So if he didn't give up his seat, what happens? He has to go down, and Yah has plans, and he follows the protocol of my Yah. He has sense enough to follow the protocol. Get your tail on over, give whatever little thing I've given you, give it to the next one, hand over the baton, let them go on over there to the other place. But this here is no longer your seat. So what is going to happen, you're going to get a little taste over here of the system going into one world system, but you're not going to be able to survive the whole one world system thing, because he's going to take this country off the map. Yes, the Father going to take it off the map. And the perilous times and the times to come and the issues of the world. And I even said today to the Father, I said, so If I would have went over to where I wanted to go over to Thailand. I first wanted to go visit Thailand and to see what it's like. And then I say, okay, if I go over there and I really like it, then I would probably want to stay. But I was never, and I never had the mind to go to Thailand for no reason of, oh, they're going to destroy the American and I'm going to have to get out of America, out of this country. I never thought that at all. I never thought like that at all. You see, but my children will tell you, Mama always says she wanted to go over to Thailand. She wanted to take her a trip to Thailand. And I said, if I get over there and I really like it, I probably won't really want to come back. If I do come back, I have to come back and prepare myself to move forward. But as I see things today, I see it in a way that you just be content and keep your eyes on the move of Yah and where he moved you, where he would have you. You see, I know a lot of Hebrew Israelites. They used to always talk all the time. We got to get out of America. You got to get, they was getting out of America without knowing why they were leaving America. So therefore, what would they take it? The America with them. That's all they were going to do. They're going to end up taking the ways of America over to wherever they go. That's how Israel and Judah always been. They haven't changed anything about them being different than their forefathers. They wouldn't have done nothing no different, And as I even go out, and no matter where I go, it's just like it's just a people. I went to this one place to sit down and have lunch, and it's a place where all nationalities attend. But when I see the way Judah conducted themselves, I try to think of every just reason to make it okay. I sat there and didn't even eat hardly, you guys, because I was trying within myself to think of all kind of just reason of why no one in this big place is conducting themselves in this manner. And it was all nationality in there, but Judah. Wasting food all over the place. Children running and putting their hand and stuff. Just a sight that was just so ugly to me. And I sat there and I didn't lose my appetite. I just said, let me get out of here. Because I couldn't get my mind to not focus on why would parents allow. And then when I saw the parents come in and not just I'm talking about many, and the way that they conduct themselves, the way that they act and how they let their children just do it. It's just so much stuff I see. And I'm like just saying, I don't know. And I sit there to try to just say, well, maybe they ain't used to this, or maybe their kids don't used to get out, and I try to find every reason possible to say, why do a people have to conduct themselves in that manner? Why? And I mean from the adults to the children. Why are you allowing, your kids to waste the food and play in it? And why would you do that? I mean, just let them just roam around and y'all, I can talk. You might not can talk. You ain't got no kids, most likely. I had 6. Bust a move if you want. Go in the place acting a fool if you want. I wish you would. And I guess that is another thing. I'm thinking, hey, boy, my kids would have been tore up from the floor. I've been in somebody's jail. The way I was sitting there, and I stopped eating and left because I couldn't get my mind off of watching a people, melanated people, conduct themselves in a way that, and you would say, now say for instance that we never as a people got a chance to go into places. It's so many things that we cannot even, use just reason to get out of, because it's no reason why. You can do whatever you want. It's no reason why. And that's the same thing about how we clamp in on the Father, the kingdom, but we conduct ourselves in a way that shows me, not you. Is Yah in his right mind? That's what it lets me know. Because I try to find every just reason of why, and it's okay for we as a people to be the way that we are today. I find every reason to get us out. My conclusion is, Father, you in your right mind? He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all don't. You in your right mind? So what happens? Bam! The study came in, and the title is, There's Two Judahs and Two Israels. I, Sister Deborah, can divide them. And this is why I'm seeing this. It's because I'm looking at two Judah. One is Judah in the flesh, and one is Judah in the spirit. That's why. That's why. Because I'm like, could all of this be your Judah, Father? Could it be all this here things that's going on amongst our nation? You would think that we in the midnight hour, get us right, Father, get us right. Father, Yah, get us right. Father, Yah, get us right. For what? And everybody Judah, Deborah, not my Judah. And then he take you right back to the twos to give you some sort of reason why you seeing this. No, you can't use your own reason, Deborah. But once you put it in the light and dissect it, then you see the twos. And that's how I have to function. There's two Judah. Don't put one Judah in with the other Judah and make them one Judah, because that's not how he's going to do it. There's a reason why there's one Judah that's stooped down, crouch, waiting for shalom. Not shalom, Shiloh. That's the one. There's a difference in the two. And this is why you see them. So the question was, well, Father, is this you? You doing this here? These are your Jews? No, Deborah. I ain't never changed the kingdom way. He never changed the earth different than it is in the heaven. See, in the heavens, it's not all about Israel and Judah. I know we teach ourselves that. We want to believe the lie. Go right ahead. It's about spirits coming back to where they are assigned in the book of eternal life, to the kingdom. You see? That's what it's all about, y'all. We're going to be spirits. Nope, we ain't going to have melanated. We ain't going to have Europeans or white or blue, purple, green, brown. We don't have no skin color, because skin can't enter into the kingdom. And that's another thing that's plainly seen that nobody takes a look at. That we so embedded down here on the earth teaching nationalities till we have forsaken he that's on the throne that has all this stuff orchestrated. And I can guarantee you the way he has it orchestrated is not in the flesh, but it's in the spirit. But we insist, the flesh, we insist on having our own understanding and how we see it, you see? And how we don't want to see it out of the way our natural eyes see it. because the reality is the spirit realm is the way it was, is the way it is, and the way it's going to be in the eternal. It's no flesh going to be there. So you're going to know all that stuff that everybody been talking about is a bunch of trash, because we're going to be by spirits with the spirit of Yah. You see, not flesh is not entering into the kingdom, because the flesh is the only thing that holds nationalities. You see what I'm saying? Spirits don't hold nationalities. They're not holding nationalities as far as European and black and Mexican and Italian and so on and so on. It's not holding that. It's holding spirits before Yah. Okay. So when he gave me this here is the power puncher. I'm gonna teach this here, and I was speaking yesterday on it, and it was in Isaiah. It was in Isaiah chapter 1 verse 17. It was in Isaiah chapter 1 verse 23, and it took me to Jeremiah chapter 22 and verse 3. Then it took me to Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 16 through 17. Then it took me to Zacharias chapter 7 verse 8 through 14. And what he was teaching me, you guys, was the same identical thing that he had warned Israel and the 12 tribes over and over and over and over not to do to the strangers, the fatherless, the orphanage, and the widows. But they did it anyway. He told them over and over and over about their brothering. He told them, neither shed innocent blood in this place. Why do the Father have to tell that to them? Okay, and watch this here. Let me say it, the one in Isaiah. In Isaiah is telling them, it says, learn to do well. Learn to do it. Why? Because we don't come down here just doing well, y'all. So anybody who think that they can do that, you go right ahead. Keep fooling yourself. We can't just come down here and think we can do well. Ain't nobody perfect. Ain't nobody gonna come down here and do perfect. Okay, Yeshua was the only one that came down, and he had help. Hamashiach. Okay, so it says here in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 17, learn to do well. That means we have to learn this, you guys. It is something, it is not something we just think we got. Say, for instance, if we have the Holy Spirit or the Ruach HaKodesh living in us, guess what? We still have to learn to do well, because he's in us. Where is he at? He's residing in our spirit. So that tells you there's another part of you, which is flesh, that has to learn to do well. So he's telling Israel and Judah to learn to do well. Seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widows. What do you mean? What do you mean plead for the widows? And what plead mean? Argue, complain, content. See, the battle of Israel and Judah, men were to focus on that which pleased Yah, which was the fatherless, the orphanage, and the widows. What pleased Yah regarding them? Having men work with them. You see? And he's telling them that seek judgment. Okay? And of the oppressors, of the oppressors. Why? Because Israel had strangers. They were doing the same thing to the strangers as Europeans do to us in this country and on the four corners in this captivity. The same thing they did, we did as a people. But see, you'll never hear nobody teaching it and preaching it. And then it came right back around in Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 23. Thy princes are rebellion, and thy companions are thieves. A companion of thieves. They are companions of thieves. Who is he talking to? Israel and Judah. He's telling them that they're men. That's why they got prince. Princes. That represents males or rebellion. And their companions are thieves. Okay, so when I look up companion, it means friend and neighbor. So it's speaking of how the men are rebellion, and those that they are friends with and neighbors to, they are thieves. Same way today. In your community, they come in your house and rob you and shoot you 1,000,000 times just for your remote control to your 13-inch TV. I know it. Y'all want to make it look like it ain't nothing happening. I know y'all don't know nothing about that. That stuff ain't happening. Y'all can't see it. You don't believe it. So this is what he was showing me about a people. And that's why he said there's two Judahs, Deborah. It's two Israels. So you just have to keep in mind, no matter which one you see, always bring that up. So when you go somewhere and you see them fighting, whichever way you go, arguing, they can't even go to the funeral anymore, y'all. Did y'all see that? They're fighting and killing one another at the funeral, at weddings, fighting and killing, graduations, fighting and killing, all over the place. Someone mentioned about mind control. I can't. The Father won't let me use that as a lie to get away with it, because this is what he was saying back in the old times to Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. They were like this also with Moses. So what he's saying is their main thing is trying to find a just reason why they the way that they are. And they can't. Why is it a people cannot find a just reason and always finding someone else doing something to them to make them be the way that they are? The Father said, guess what, Deborah? They was this way to me since the beginning. You see? Who bothered them when he was taking them across the Red Sea, parted the sea, took them through the dry land, brought them into the promised land? Who caused them to conduct themselves that way? Who did that? We can't blame the Europeans. We can't blame the other countries. See, we so busy trying. So when Sister Deborah says she went to this place to eat, and I see all these people letting their kids just run around, and you see all these nationalities, their kids is right next to them and they fixing plates, but ours are just running around pulling food all off the counter and all over the place and wasting a whole plate of food, and kids just everywhere, just using their hand to pick up, just out of order, just totally out of order, because they keep finding just reasons to make it okay that this is the way they are. But the Father got some news for you. There's two Israels, and he ain't talking about the fake one over there. They know they ain't Israel. He know they ain't Israel. You just too still sick to know that they ain't Israel. You still trying to defeat the fact that they not Israel. They know they ain't Israel. Why do a people want to battle a people over and over and over and over and over in a way that they think that it's about trying to prove something? How can you prove truth? What more can you do with truth? Truth gonna be truth no matter what nobody say. They know that they ain't the true Jews. They know that they don't believe in the Messiah. They know that, and the world knows it too. But there is a people that seems like something wrong with them. They still don't know that they know. So how do they know that they not, and you still walking around here saying you are, but yet you don't know that they don't know that they know that they ain't, and the world too. All the signs is poured out before us, y'all. We can clearly see it, but guess why you can't? Because darkness has claimed you. The majority of them are in darkness, and they do not want to come out of that darkness. This is why you can go someplace, nice wedding, all of a sudden they come in and one person step on a shoe, or one person say this, it's a fight at a funeral, bringing guns to shoot somebody. And we want to walk around and make this world think that we belong to the righteous one. We belong to the righteous. It's no matter what we do, we belong to him. That's why I know it's a sickness. We want the world to know that. We want them to know that we belong to the throne, cutting up like we do down here. We have so much hate toward one another that is off the chain. Being locked in under a lot of races, that is a form of hate inside of hate inside of hate. But there is a people that are also locked in a form of hate, even toward their very own. And it started with the men. So as I sit here and I'm going over this, listen to Isaiah chapter 1, verse 23. Thy prince or rebellion. Now he's telling this to Isaiah. And the companies of thieves. Everyone giving gifts follow after rewards. They judge not the fatherless, neither do the cause of the widow come unto them. Now, when it's saying that, it's telling you that these, if no other race, if no other people should be able to deal and work with the fatherless and the widows, guess what? It should have been Israel and Judah. That's what the Father is saying. But he said they so busy being rebellion, being thieves, and being accompanied friends and neighborhoods, thieves. So it's when y'all sit back and you wonder why in the community our people are the way that they are, it's telling you right here. And he said, listen to what he says. They judge not the fatherless, neither do they cause the widow to come into them. See, the widow's supposed to be trusting them because they are the men. Now one of you would write that down. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 23. Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 17. That's actually telling you this is Israel, y'all. This is Judah. So when I'm sitting up in this place eating, and my heart is just so sorrow to see a people, because guess what, y'all? When I came in, the first place they wanted to seat me was way in the back corner. And you know what I told her? I said, hold up. I'm not going back there. No, I'm not going back there. She said, well, where do you want to sit? I said, I'm going to sit right up front. See, even when you go to this place, they quick to take you to the back. Because that's how I believe they do away with us. But it doesn't help because this place is so big and they be running all over the place. They still got to come from the back. But they quick to take you to the back. And I tell them every time, I'm not going back there. I'm sitting right up in the front. And then when I sat in the front, there was 4 couples of elderly people, Europeans sitting in a seat like over from me, and then on this side was another a European. They sat on that end, and as I sat there, it was like they were looking at what I was looking at, and I felt so sad because when what another thing about Judah, they don't have no sense of shame, guilt. They don't have that mercy and that grace. Even though Yah has poured out them mercy and grace, they still don't have that mercy and grace to pour out among their own kind. They don't, the women, older as well as young, they were all out there, all ages. And it just done something to me to even see them the way they were conducting themselves. I mean, I just, and it just really felt bad to me because as I sat there to enjoy my meal, I didn't get to really eat it, you know? And I felt so uncomfortable because I'm sitting here and watching a people that I believe that I am Judah, you know, melanated. Not to say that all of us coming from Judah, but just to say that why do it have to be this way? Not some of the time. It's like this here all the time. You can go to the gas pump, same way, y'all. Grocery store, same way. It's just like this. It is what it is. And this is the reason why I remain like that, because no one own it to be what it is. Instead, they try to find a just reason. Somebody did something to them for them to have to act this way. So when I be thinking, when I be seeing this, the first thing comes to me is they act like animals. But why? Why? It does not, and I am not exaggerating, because Sister Deborah normally don't go to this place. And just to go here to see this, it just crazy. But as I was continuing to do that study of two, Judah is two and Israel is two. There's two Judahs and two Israel. I began to realize that the same way that Judah is hooping and hollering, saying that the United States is doing them, guess what? Judah was doing the same thing. And I'm like saying, but Father, wait a minute. I knew you was telling Ezekiel. But Father, way down here in Isaiah, Father, yeah, they were doing the identical same thing. And to the point where he said to them, watch this here, Jeremiah 22 and verse 3. Thou said, Yah, execute ye judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoil out of the hand of those that oppress, and do no wrong, no violence to the strangers, the fatherless, nor the widow, nor shed innocent blood in this place. Why do y'all have to tell them don't do that? You see? So what the foredenial of the cult of Hebrew Israelite, it is a cult, because they never came to the truth. They never came to righteous. They never came to the light. So it is what it is. It is what it always been. And all these things in which he was saying, I'm trying to understand, okay, Father, you give me all these verses and everything in Jeremiah. It's in Ezekiel. It's in the beginning of Isaiah, in the beginning of Jeremiah. It's all in there. And then you wonder, why haven't they been able to teach those verses? What happened? What took place that they weren't able to take all of these from all these prophets, even from Daniel? What went wrong where they haven't applied all these things, since they said that this is their history in this book? This book is their history. That book is about us. That's our history. But how would you measure it to be your history is when you want to take out parts, very little parts, and hold firm to, without taking out spirit and truth and the light, showing you the whole overall. They don't want that. They want only parts that can justify them, which it never can. Because I'm a living prophet and not a dead one. And I'm not here to justify you and clarify you as if you all that and something, because that's a lie from the pit of hell. I'm not dead, I'm living. I see what you're doing. See, the prophets of yesterday warned you about what you was going to do. I'm living it and seeing you doing it. So what's the difference? No one speaks on it. No one has opened their eyes to it or even expound on it or to try to get others to see it. This gives me the whole overall of why it's okay for this whole country to come down. That's how I see it. I don't see it like, okay, no, I'm on this country. I'm in this country. All we the true Jews in this country. No. I couldn't see him taking all of Judah and all of Israel. I couldn't see him because there's too much going on, you guys. What about all those people who's in the prison who have murdered their whole family, murdered their mother, murdered their daddy, murdered their brother, murdered their friend? So when he comes, he's going to take them too? See, that's what I mean, and we don't even have to say just murdering, because it's so many other crimes that sit side by side with murder in the eyes of Yah. Especially if he said don't do it, and you do it anyway. But yet you get to go to the kingdom. Come on now, y'all, make it make sense. You can't, and nobody talks about it. So when I look out into this world, I see the way people are heading. I see two gates, and I don't see people heading to the narrow gate. And I'm going to be honest. I see the way of the broad gate is the way people are entering their end. And like I told y'all before, what I'm seeing, they're happy about it. They're smiling. They're joyful. And they're heading through the broad gate. They don't have no issue. They're heading to the broad gate. And I, Sister Deborah, know this too is the will of the Father. He is allowing them to go in the direction in which they have already been assigned. And back to Satan. I just showed y'all in Revelation chapter 13. He's given up his power, his seat, and his authority. Did not I tell you he was in his authority, his seat was here in the United Snakes and his synagogue? You see now why he has to give it up? Because y'all gonna give his tail up if he don't. He's still, him giving up his power is not him. Yah's will is holding up all the grace and mercy, still in control. So now the next stage is they're going to go over here and take control over this Middle East. Not the Middle East partial, but over here in Israel and Jerusalem and Gaza. Over in that area. This is where they're going to try to rule the country as well. How they're going to do it, they're not going to be able to be fully successful. I don't think so. Because he has to bring them down as well. So that place going to be desolated. But guess what else I saw? I was asking the Father, why is it said in the study guide that the land is not occupied? It's not taken. No one is in the land right now. Why is this saying this in this book? He said the people would pass by it, nobody would go. And you want me to tell you what my conclusion? And that's why I'm grateful that I don't follow books and I don't follow. It's there's something in me explaining to me of many things to the point where we call this country the United States of America. Many of you all have no idea that this country was not the United States of America. It was a land, and there were individuals who owned this land. Okay. And when the Europeans came out of Caucasus Mountain and Europe, they all began to try to take over and gain others, Europeans, to try to get this land. And that's how they end up in this land. But somebody was already here. And I think the blood, y'all, now hear me now, the blood of those who were shed so harshly is also an example of how dark this country has always been. And when I say this country, when they took over it and claimed it as America, they claimed it for all the wrong reasons, all the wicked reasons, all the demonic reasons, the dark reasons. Okay. They claimed it after they had killed so many, y'all, so many that was already on this land. So while we sitting here thinking this land, great old America, even with Sister Deborah, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, Father, you got some beef with these Europeans here. I don't see no other reason, because I think they have to go down with the country, because that's how much darkness, all this blood that been shed in this country. Come on now, it's no way that they and their children and their children that's even living is going to escape, y'all. They're not going to escape out of here. And why should they? This is another thing. A lot of this stuff is not hidden, you guys. It's in books telling them all the wicked and dark things that they have done as Europeans. But they joined the crew of Satan. That's why you can't separate the Christians from the Catholic and the Catholic from the Christians, because when the Catholics started up, the Christian, their whole idea was to use Christians as their shield to cover them up. But they one of the same, y'all. They in it together. All over the world, they in it together. You see? And when you look at Islam, Muslim, and all these other religion, these all of them, Jehovah's Witness to all of them, these are all religions and groups that was formed by the Roman Catholic, the Jesuits. All of them are Europeans. Many of them are Christians. They formed this stuff. You remember the college, what's that thing they sorority, all of that stuff, y'all, is what you call dark, wicked stuff. All of that is detached. You see, you looking for something? Oh, yeah. So we as individuals, we bypass stuff like that. But the thing about it, how your light shine is when you have truth that's in you and is activated. That truth is activated because it's been sitting in you. When the Holy Spirit come, he begin to teach you, and at that moment you become activated. Your truth, the truth that's in you, start to the Holy Spirit start to teach it, the truth. So the truth is not something that's coming from a book, y'all. It's coming from within out. giving you the idea. When you start to read the books, then the truth that's in you has been activated because the Holy Spirit is teaching you from that level. So it's not what you believe and what people are saying, and even on all this news and everything. But I got off of something that I wanted to tell y'all. People get you all kind of light, candles, lights, things that where you're going to be able to see. This is what's going on with me. I'm looking at, I don't see it like you all see it. I see this thing that America that has deceived you all and continued since it exists, telling you that's a war with Iran. I think America is actually setting up, could be setting up something that Iran could do the first something here to shut off the power grid. Okay. Now, for them to do that, they would have to have, yep, they got it. It's real. Because let me tell y'all what I'm thinking. You see all these towers that the United Snakes have built, and now Donald Trump went way over to China to tell China we now, the United States snakes has stepped into G6. Why didn't the people here know that United Snakes has stepped into G6? Because it's not about the people in this country. Their whole idea is to destroy you. People don't get it. They don't get it. So therefore, he goes over to China and said that the United Snakes has moved to 6G. And I'm like, why didn't he tell everybody that? Because everybody was saying, when did we move to 6G? So these towers, y'all, these towers that they have, for Iran to drop something on our power grid, you would think it would do something to the towers, or it would do something to all of these AI centers that they're building up. You see? I think that this country of people have sold their whole self out so easily. And I believe that this country gets and need to receive what they get, because it's so much that they have done, even building all these AI towers. Look at all over they building it. And do you all understand that they're not doing this with the okay of the government? See the power that they're doing things in? See, that power is what I was telling y'all. That they're not doing things to get the okay for this. You see famous people as well as known people and unknown people. You see them, they being disappeared, they being murdered, they being killed, all kind of things is happening. Just sudden death, all kind of stuff is happening. And what I'm beholding is the people in this country, it's like zombies. I would rather see the zombies in the living dead walking around than seeing the zombies that's actually zombies that can deceive the whole world, because they're walking around numb to whatever is actually going on, what is taking place. So if Iran were to take action and go after the power grid, it would be the most awesome, I'm going to say it like it is, plan that America can pull off. It would be the most awesome plan that America can pull off. You know why? It would wrap things up here in this country. One say, well, okay, maybe a month, our electric and our power will be down. Maybe 2 weeks. We don't know how long. Just imagine what type of power that will be in this country hand to do that. All they have to do then is disperse the bio, because everybody worried about light and energy and phones. You ain't gonna use your phones, your computer, no light, no. Just imagine being in that. That will be some sort of stage to show this country what they've been showing them all the time. We don't give our rats behind about y'all. We trying to do away with y'all. And you know why I say it's awesome? Because it's following the protocol of what was already spoke to me. They're destroying it from the inside. That will be one of the number one. That with another biochemical that's greater than COVID. Have Iran to hit a tower that brings power down. Because even if they brought the power down, the country know how to boot it back up. But guess what? They wouldn't. Because they will be partaker in the plan of bringing the power down. Because they need the chaos. And so you think, and you can look at me all cockeyed and think that I don't know what I'm talking about. Go to Matthew 24:7. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. That's a war, a civil war, y'all. That's a war inside of a war. What can bring on a civil war in this country? People running, trying to survive, taking from each other. Got weapons to come in your house and shoot up everything that's living, to take everything you got. Don't think they ain't got it. That's why I say they can sit back and make this awesome plan. And the people in this country, all the things that people in this country has done, I don't care who you are, and the greed level, people really don't think it's going to hurt those who have, because they thought it was always about them. They thought this living was always their balance. It's always me, 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 and mine, mine, mine. This is the sort of stuff that would show people. I heard even things that's taking place, and I said, but why ain't nobody talking about it? Are these people realizing they could be them tomorrow? And nope, nobody ain't talking about it. Ain't nobody saying nothing. So for that, when I see them dealing with Iran, and they turn around and he said, peace, peace, and then destruction. I don't think this country deserve the Most High Yah. I don't think so. I ain't gonna think, I know. Yah got his hand full of his remnant, those that are his. He got that stuff written, those that belong to him. But I'm not gonna say that, okay, leave America, don't take America. I don't care who here. I got a mother, sisters, and brothers, and children, grandbabies. But let me tell you something. I'm speaking from a standpoint of spirit and truth and the light and who I serve. I'm for him. I'm on his side. You see? And I know I own this mess that's going on. 99.9 won't own this trash that's going on. We'll get in our family and see our family doing wrong, but still we'll sit here and we'll make they right wrong and wrong right. A mother will see her daughter out there fighting and her own baby watching her fight. She got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old are crying because their mom out there fighting. And grandmama out in the window looking. Get her, girl, get her. You see? And you think that this country deserves something better. Come on now. To even think like that, you would have to be the serpent seed. Because there are words that has already gone across that and told you. John already done spoke it, and he gone, sleep. That there is a country, that a place that's going to come down because of what it is. And I believe it's the United States of America. And that's why Satan giving up his seat and his power and his authority, because America got to go down. Now, where he going to go from there, I could care less. Most likely over there in that land. But what, maybe someone can help me here. I was reading in more than one verse, it was talking about that land in which was the promised land, and it was sieged. They sieged everything from it. Why? I can't believe that everybody in this country lies. I don't understand how these people grab this King James 16, all the lost books and found books, and still standing around lying. Big time. Big time. Because I was reading the other day, it was saying that the land is desolated and no one pass it by it. So how could someone be in it if he says that it's a place that's going to be desolate? Now, another thing about it, what is it that he has with Ethiopia? Palestinians. Do y'all know it is written in your study guide that he's coming to destroy them? Did y'all know that? But what you hear today, oh, the Ethiopians have the true Bible. Well, I'm like saying, but wait a minute. That what about what? You really can't. They didn't switch the map, I believe. They didn't switch the map. But the Palestinians, he said, what do I have? What he said, what do I have to do with you? I come to destroy thee. He's saying it to the Palestinians. Now, those who smeared the book, added and took away, they could have put that in there. But I'm like saying, but wait a minute, here we are hooping and hollering for the Palestinians, saying that Israel is doing this to the Palestine, doing this to the Palestine, doing this to the Palestine. But I tell y'all one thing, those Palestinians are also those people who feel that they are entitled to what was given to a people. But yet they come up in this day and time, and throughout, not this day and time like this time, they've been claiming something that didn't even belong to them. That's what's confusing to me. Why y'all claiming something that don't belong to y'all? And he told Esau, grandson, it's all in there talking about, I didn't like how you, when they were seized, when they sieged Israel and took Jerusalem from the 12 tribes, he's telling Esau side that you shouldn't have did your brother's kids. I mean, your brother like that. You shouldn't have been setting them up like that. It's all in the study guide, actually telling Esau that he did this to Jacob's tribe, Jacob's seed, and you shouldn't have been partaking in it, and you were. he began to tell them over in, I think it's Arabian, how y'all went and took all that stuff out of Israel, gold, silver, and brought it to your own land and put it in your temples. And I'm like reading all this, and I said, why ain't nobody talking about that? It's because it's what the Father told me. He said they grabbed this Bible. That's why I can't be the word, Deborah. Not their word. Let them be their own words. Because they grab this book and they don't even study it to the point of understanding the little that's left there for them to understand. Because it's in it, it's a lot of things that they can clearly see. And then, the Holy Spirit comes and they give them the fullness. They ain't even get the fullness. They ain't even get the little bit. Because that's what he's saying. They can read it and they don't even walk in what they read. They don't even walk in what they talk. They don't even walk in what they teach. They don't even walk in what they preach out of these books. And that is so 100. If one of you ever go into the study guide and you see these things and you be like, well, wait a minute. I have the word in me. But this book says this. And they ain't even going by it. It makes you wonder what is on the mind. All I can think is darkness. Yeah, that's what he was saying. He said Esau was partaker in helping them. And he also did a lot of things that displeased the Most High. And he let him know, I'm coming for you for that. He said he's going to destroy him. Yep, he said, I'm coming for you for that. I cannot connect Esau with the Europeans. I can't. I don't see that. Maybe someone could maybe give me information that connects it. But what people want to do is they want to give you information out of their own understanding, out of their wisdom, and out of their knowledge. You can't give a sister like me, a student of the Ruach HaKodesh, where the Holy Spirit abide in me. You can't give me your wisdom. You can't give me your knowledge. You can't give me your understanding. If you're going to pull up, you got to pull up with the light. Okay? And in that light, you got to have spirit and truth. Come on with it. All this old monkey mess where some flesh of a man then taught you to walk according to a way of a cult, a way of wicked and evil and darkness so you can stay dark and in the light. In the dark. No, you ain't going to pull up on me on that. Bring me something that makes sense. And now I don't need no lost books and no found books to detail me anything. Because when you pull up on certain people, y'all, you got to pull up on them in truth. You get what I'm saying? You can't pull up on them with all these books and these precepts and these lines and these little there. You got to pull up with it in them with spirit and truth. All this other monkey mess don't mean nothing. Because if the Father is the word and these books are words, you cannot pull up on the Father with books that you're reading. You get slapped with your own book because that's what the Father would do and tell you to get somewhere and sit down. You ain't going to be able to pull up on him like that. Likewise with his servant. We should not be taken over by people who wants to sling their wisdom, their knowledge, and their understanding. But if they have wisdom, they have knowledge, they have understanding, pull up with it in spirit and truth. And you with me, and I'm with you. You pull that bad boy up in spirit and truth, we in there. But don't come pulling up with all these words and these books and your understanding of what it said. Because I'm always going to the altar, trying to ask the Father, well, Father, that ain't what it said even in their study guide. But Deborah, I told you, those are words, and they don't even abide by. And I'm like, they don't, because they saying one thing and reading out a book is saying another. It don't make sense, people. But this is how people have been for so long. To this is the darkness they're in, and they don't want it no other way. Yep. Esau had a habit of mixing himself with people Isaac told them not to mix with. Okay? Esau helped the enemy. Yeah. Fraternities and sororities and those Masons. Yeah. Yep. What you said, he warned them a million times in the Torah. So why would so many times there be so many warnings? And here we are, what is it? We can say 6, 7, 8,000 years, and we still act as if we don't know the warning itself. I don't know. To me, stuff like that is strange. How are we able to just continue to the end without the truth? Without even the truth being activated in us, because the truth is there. But the people walking and talking in ungodly and unrighteous. So they don't want no part of the truth that's in them. So that's another whole story. And then just to hear that, I'm like saying to the Father with Isaiah and Jeremiah and Ezekiel, I'm like saying, but Father, why would you keep telling them about the orphanage and the fatherless and the widows and the strangers, and they better not be killing one another and shedding blood of your brothers? Why was you constantly telling them that? And here they doing it right now in this land. No fear for the orphanage. And we wonder why ain't the government taking care of this and taking care of this and taking care of this. So you see how it never was the women of Judah. Never was it. It was never the women of Judah from the beginning. It could not have been. Even through their own study guide, their lost books, their found books. They so busy looking for the books to tell them about what's coming out of the darkness, to where they don't have no light of what all they missed. So they serve unrighteous and ungodliness and want all the lost books, the found books. They want all this stuff to take the place of spirit and truth and the light. That's why I say, if you're going to pull up with spirit and truth, and I'm with you. I can listen to you. You pull up with spirit and truth, I can listen to you. But if you come here talking all that yang, and this said this, this said this, this said this, and this said this, okay, what's behind what it said? Because before it can say anything, y'all done said it, all things. So before your book can say anything, and all your lost books can say anything, because it takes a man to print these books out, but before your books can say anything or mean anything and stand for anything, what about what the Spirit already said? He said all things. That's why he said, I'll come and live in you and teach you what? All things. But we forsake that to listen to your ugly mouth? No. You got everybody bent, because the world is bent, and everybody's bent with people, because this is how messed up things are. Now, that day of darkness, I believe there's no 3 day of darkness. So people need to stop that. There's a day of darkness where the sun, the moon, and the sky is said to be partially out. But partially out don't make it 3 days of darkness. You cannot go back to Exodus and pull out the 3 days of darkness and apply it for today. You can't do that, y'all. But that's what the so-called prophets and the prophetesses trying to crank up. Why? They have every right to do that. People are in darkness, and they need every food they need out of the darkness. So that's what those people are there to give them. So, but I will say, I would love for him to show it to me, though, in my spirit, what Iran has up. Want me to tell y'all what I think? They in it together. They always been in it together. You hear them talking about warring and warring and warring. You don't hear no lives being lost. You've heard lives being lost, but you never really heard it. You heard them saying it. So people are living based on what they hear them tell them. But we on a day that's like no other. We shouldn't be listening to what nobody is telling us. Should be listening to the Holy Spirit, the true teacher, the true revealer. He that is beyond an AI and an IIA. And when we tell y'all something else that's strange, Elon them and all them building all those AI centers. And guess what? Matthews, Luke, Mark, and John. What does it say? In the end days, they shall be building, buying, building, selling, eating, feasting, partying, marrying. You see? So them building this is not saying they building it as if this country going to be here. Because I think it's going to be a partake. I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this AI center is not about AI as a center. These centers, they build it in every state. It plays a big role in destruction to the people. I really do. I don't think these are really AI. I think AI is a system that they want us to believe in, to count on, or to turn to, or to look for it. And it's a distraction. Because I think AI it's going to be a scapegoat in how they bringing you down from the inside. All is one glitch in AI, and it mess up everybody bank, everybody taxes, everybody business account, everybody a mortgage, everybody everything. AI have to mess up one time, one glitch, and it'll shut everything down in this country. So don't think that they don't know what they're doing. See, that's going back to what I'm saying to y'all. The people in this country have no idea what these people got prepared for them. You have no idea. And honestly, as a prophetess in the wilderness, they deserve every bit of it. Every bit of it. The people, we all that's in this country, deserve every bit of it because we constantly partaker in it. No one wants to tell the truth about the darkness of it. Everybody want to give them a clap. Look at all these people trying to get AI this, and AI this. Let's say, for instance, me. I go to this lady who had did my hair, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna go to her again. But this last time, which is tomorrow, will be my last time. I'm willing to give her up. I went to her 4 times, only 4 times. And when I come out, I mean, people everywhere I'm going is talking about how beautiful my hair look. But I got to stop going because this individual is AI sold out. She don't have no spiritual nothing. To me, she's darkness from head to toe. You hear me? And it was said that I had an appointment on the 29th, and all of a sudden I saw that I had an appointment on the 26th, and that bothered me. I said, in my calendar, it says 29th. So I said, well, why do you have me down for a Tuesday? She said, no, I put you down for Tuesday. You must have put it on the wrong thing. I said, okay, I'll just keep that appointment. But I said, this will be my last appointment. I will keep it, but it will be my last. I don't have to go to have my hair done. All my living, I did people hair. So I find a way to do my own, or I find someone that has a different spirit. You see? And this is how you have to do. You can't just stay with people. You can't just abide with people and allow people to be in be in near your zone. And when we tell you what she did, I had never heard of it. Maybe you all have. She sat there and she said, see, my glasses, I think she paid 1,000 or something for it. She said 1,000. It was more than way more than 1,000, but I don't know. I think it's 16 or something like that, 1,600 or whatever. She got AI glasses. She used the glasses to talk through, to see through, and everything. AI glasses. Sickening to me. Very sickening. Very, very sickening. When I was done the first time and I was leaving out, she was talking about, oh, these AI glasses. I said, what you mean? She said, I got AI glasses. I paid, I think it was like 1,600, and she can take a picture with her glasses, y'all. She can talk to the glasses. She can ask questions from the glasses. She can get direction from the glasses. And I said, okay. She had already put me down for that appointment. I said, that's it. That'll be my last time. Too much darkness. Too much darkness. And the things that's be going on in there is just, it's very darkened. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, my baby girl, had referred me to her because I had a, what was it? We had to go, and I had to get my hair done. I can't even remember where it, but I said, I won't go to her anymore. No, it don't. It just some things just show you how to move on. You don't have to sit up in it. Sister Deborah is that type of person. I don't have to put up or stand in nothing. I get up and I walk away, and I won't have no hardship, or I won't have no shame, no nothing. I'm gone. And that's where you need to be when you are spirit and truth, and you're carrying the light, and you're the servant of the Most High Yah. Trust Yah. He's in you. He's greater in you than anything on the outside of you. Trusting him in you is the best thing. Everything that comes out of people runs to it. Sick. I think they are in together. Yes, they all are in it together as far as what they're about to do to this country. They're working, and I don't want to say awesome again, but they got such a plan for this country. I'm gonna tell y'all, they got such a woo-wee. They got a plan for this country, y'all. And it's not a plan as if they're trying to survive this country. So when you see Elon them opening up those centers and putting them, they call them the AI center, y'all, it's something behind that. It ain't got to do, it ain't got anything to do with it being there. They know it's not going to be there. They're placing places for a reason. Just like you can go back and you wonder why they putting all them millions, and I don't know if it's billion, but $1 million into the White House. When they start fixing up the White House, building a ballroom for it. You know why? That's going to be the escape tunnel. That's the escape tunnel that they're trying to build. That tunnel will drop them all the way down and connect them to where they're going underground. All that stuff like that. No, and the people in this country don't have no sense. And then I began to understand something that's very important. Money. Money is not what you think it is. It's what you think. Money is not what you think it is. It's what it ain't. A lot of times we always talk about how they're using our taxpaying money, or they're using our money to do this and do that. Oh, that's a lie, y'all. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's all a lie. The purpose of taking your money is to keep you below their feet. It's going back to power and control. When you get that money, it's only there to allow you to have certain things. Okay. And it doesn't put you nowhere above nobody. You see, it just allows you to have things, materialistic things. You see? So, and I had no other choice because I was talking to the Most High regarding how I would love to get 5 to 10 acres of land and just go out in the land and just live there until he come or till I cease. And in the midst of that, I was explaining to him how it is, just how they do things as far as selling land and getting it ready for you to even be able to live on. You have to also deal with all the zones and different hills and all different kind of things you can't build on the land. But I always wanted 5 to 10 acres. That's all I needed. Let me tell y'all something, that I had a YouTuber that came to visit me, a mother and a daughter, and it just was something to me that was really saddening, because I sat and they were telling me about, oh, I went and heard about this land, I bought this, I bought 6 acres, I bought 8 acres. They just acres all over the place. But a lot of it that they bought, and I'm sure it had to have been 4 or 5 different lands. And then they had apartments and homes that they own. So what they were doing is, I said, why are y'all going out there buying that land like that? And it bothered me. It bothered me that they could go out and take money and just blow it. And just sad, y'all. It's sad, because guess why it's sad? Several of the properties they bought, guess what? They can't build on it. They can't put certain things on it. I think one was restricted by the military. And in my mind, I'm saying, but why are y'all buying this like that? And then I think it was the mother was talking about, yeah, but what we doing is we're gonna start selling them back off, because we thought it was gonna be a place for us to live on and grow and so on, and found out that it wasn't. But in my mind, I'm like saying, Father, here it is. They got the ability to buy this here, and they just buying it all. Hey, y'all, for real, they had they bought the land. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, just buying it. And in my mental state mind, I was like, this is crazy, Father. Here it is. I'm asking you for 5 to 10 acres, and they buying it like it's crazy. And every time they bought, guess what? It was a bad buy. It was too late. They had already signed it. So when they came here, they was telling me about it and everything. And I wanted to so bad tell them, hey, y'all sitting here monkeying around with land. And I haven't even, it just bothered me. So I thought about them having a property, just have. But this is what people do, you see. And somewhere along the line, I think they got a land. They probably got something now, but they had to learn, y'all. And I'm sure they might have sold all of that land that they had, but they had to learn by buying it all over the place. And I'm like, but why would y'all go out just buying it up like that? Y'all don't go check out it? No, because in the mind, it's just they're just buying it. With me, it's like, I'm not looking for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lands. Give me just one piece, and I'm heading there. That's where I'm gonna be. I might be. Look, y'all. I make my car my house, and and then they was telling me how they couldn't build, they couldn't grow crop, and I'm like, and then one of them was they had to knock down all the trees and everything. That's all of that you have to consider. That's a part, but they didn't think like that. They just went out and started buying up to fill their need of what they want. And that was just it. But I'm sure, at least I'm hoping they got an opportunity to sell it, and they might have, like she said, they might have to sell it for even lesser than what they bought it. But I said, as long as y'all can sell it, because y'all realize y'all can't even live on these properties. So, you can't do it. You can't live on it. So that's the whole idea of getting it. But why are y'all here buying all of them? You see, I just couldn't, stuff like that just, woo, Father, yeah. But and even them taught me to not even desire to just run out there and just get anything. Do it because you just want to be away from everything in the midst, and that you be out there and guess what, y'all? Only thing I think that's being out on the land like that, out on your own land, in the mental state is peace, quiet, and everybody. But guess what? You out there where people are already trying to figure a way that they can take what you have. The only thing different, they can take what you have while they got you way out there when nobody knows, or where you can't get the help that you need. So you would have to go out there with weapons. You would have to go out there with extra light and all kind of little things that you would have to go out. You can't go out there half cocked, just thinking, "Oh, I got all this land. I'm gonna move on." No, no, no. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. Because with even me, I even said I will build me a tunnel. And I know y'all think I'm crazy. I will build a tunnel from under the ground of the house all the way out to the back, way out. And I would dig holes and put little pipes for breathing holes, you know? Yeah. So when anything happened, I can go down in that tunnel and Sister Deborah be coming up with all. I was just thinking of anything, someone coming to break in or someone coming to steal or whatever, you know. I first try to defend my property, but then after, if I can, I go into my little tunnel. I sure would. And I even saw how I cemented the tunnel all around. I just all kind of little things. But and I think that should be anybody that's going out there. If you're putting a trailer on your land, dig down deep before you put the trailer, dig a hole all the way down, all the way out to the back of your trailer, all the way out. Just dig a good and make sure you put pipes where you can breathe with air from the outside. I don't know. I just think I don't know, because it's just I believe that even then there's going to be those who are going to come and they're going to be trying to take, because you out there. It's easy for them to steal, bring their little guns, say they hunting and shoot you while you out there guarding, all kind of old stupid things. I know Sister Deborah be thinking I so far. I'll be out there, but I'll be thinking out just thinking like that as far as having you. But these individuals, they were just buying property up, left and right. And one of them I think was like I think it was 8 acres. But it seemed like it was so much. I was like, "Whoo, that's a lot of land for 8 acres." See, it don't appear to be that just 8 acres. You looking at it just based on just saying it, but it consists of a lot of land. It's enough land. Yeah. But Sister Deborah is going to end here. Where am I at on time? I'm ran into my 2 hours, and Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you in the live. And I tell you what, I shall be back. Yes. And I say shalom and shalom.